when we get a win, no matter how big or small, it's worth it. It's worth it. Benedict House started off as a transitional men's house where the men would come in, they would pay rent, and they would utilize this as a step in between. When COVID hit, we were tasked by the city to revamp that into an emergency shelter because there was a strong need for that to help house people off the streets. So we went from transitional shelter to emergency shelter and have stayed as such ever since.
In my case, it's just housing. It's just housing. I ran into bad luck. I was in the middle of moving, 2019, when that started, right? I was in the middle of moving, looking for a place, and then that happened. And I was left homeless since then. Nobody was renting, nobody was evicting, nobody was doing anything. You know, everything stopped. I couldn't get out of that situation.
So I was working full time, and I had a medical situation that came up that put me out of work and out of health insurance. And before I could get the medical help to get me back into work, I had a stroke. And the hospital actually said, you know, this will be a good place for you to go and get back on your feet. And so that's how I wound up here.
I'm 71 now, and I find myself in a situation outside, and that's scary.
We're seeing 50, 60, 70-year-olds that are coming in here, multiple barriers with regard to medical fragility and stuff. And that's been a big barrier because these are not gentlemen that could very easily return to the workforce. More often than not, they've done their time in the workforce. They have since retired. They are too medically fragile to return despite wanting to or not. And now they're stuck with a fixed income that just is not getting them very far. And so that has been a large barrier to housing because these are people that, you know, obviously deserve every chance, but there aren't very many chances out there to give them.
This is the first time I've been in this kind of living situation before, and there's a lot of nerves I had when I came here. But it's actually a really good place. I'm happy to be here.
And I had to go in emergency because of a medical condition. My hand swelled up, I don't know why. And because they held me in an emergency for 3-4 days. They didn't want to put me back out here, homeless, out on the street. You know, and I didn't want to go back out there, but I didn't have a choice. But so they decided to put me here at Benedict House. It's a godsend. Otherwise, I would have been out there, you know, recovering from my emergency.
When I came here, first time in my life I'd ever needed help, and I had no idea what to do. And the staff here is actually responsible for getting me hooked up with the right people, for getting the medical help, getting housing help. So yeah, I'm really thankful to the staff here.
When they come in, we provide all bedding. We have a clothing closet that they are more than welcome to quote unquote shop in, basically get whatever they need that we have available that would work for them. We provide all hygiene and toiletries when they come in, so they don't have to worry about that. Showers are obviously on site. The soap and everything is obviously here and it's free. We have a laundry room. We provide all of the soap and the detergent and all of that. There's no paying for it. It's all free and easy to access. We serve 3 meals a day, so they are at least taken care of and have some food security, potentially for the first time coming off the street.
My goal is to get a permanent housing, being able to maintain housing, you know, being able to maintain housing on my own, which I can do. I just need to get there.
We're not a very large shelter. We house at most 28 men at a time. So we're not massive by any means, but our goal is to create a bigger impact. So really trying to tie into the community and all of its resources and bring those resources to our doorstep to break down barriers for our guests. That's always been our primary goal.
In light of the things that have happened to me health-wise, if I didn't have this, if I was out in the street, I'd be dead right now. My health conditions, several of them are life-threatening, and living without this kind of situation, I wouldn't have survived. So to me, this literally has been a life-saving place to wind up.
I think that each one of our guys has a story, and each one of those stories touches us in a different way. Try to get to know them if you can, because they're awesome.